We are here with Verònica Fuerte, the founder and creative mind behind Hey Studio, an incredible branding, graphic design, illustration agency based in Barcelona. Personally, one of my favorite studios in the world. They do incredible, colorful work. You've probably seen many of their projects, including work for Uniqlo, for many magazines, and we'll talk about their work in a second.
Okay.
But welcome, Verònica. So let's start from the very beginning. Verònica,
Yes.
tell us, how did you get into graphic design and in design in general?
So yes, when I was a kid, so I always enjoyed doing something with creativity, and my after classes were painting or doing handmade things. So my parents really helped me on this, and I really enjoy it, but I didn't know what was graphic design when I was a kid, of course. And when I needed to decide where to study, the uni, so my first option was cinema, film. And in Barcelona, because it's a very small city, at that time, it was I think in 1999 when I started the university. So the cinema school was very difficult to get inside. So it was impossible. And my second option was graphic design, fortunately. So I started to graphic design because one of the things I love between graphic design or cinema was the color. And I remember going to one of these fairs about where you choose where to go, and they explain you the matters. So I remember that one program was only about color in the university in graphic design, and I thought it's impossible, only one theme about color. So it was something that impressed me a lot. So that's the reason why I started.
Did you have any creative people in your family, or where did this creative dream come from?
No. My parents, they have a company, and is industrial. It's nothing related with with design. Nothing, zero. So it was something there was something inside me. No, nothing. But my parents, they always helped me with my dreams, and that's all. Yeah.
Oh, that's good to hear. But I suppose you got the business brain from them, and you started your own studio following your parents' example of running something of your own.
Yes, maybe they are not very creative in that way, but they are entrepreneurs as well. So maybe I remember all my past talking about business.
Okay, that's a good training to have for a designer. I think that's definitely something lots of designers don't have opportunity to learn when you focus too much on the creative work. Let's talk about the Hey Studio, because you do so much great work, and seriously, every time we see your new project, one is better than the previous one, and it's just very difficult to pick the favorite.
Thank you.
Can you tell how big is your studio, who works in your studio, what kind of responsibilities everyone has?
Yes, so I founded the studio 11 years ago. And the first year I was alone at my home. And after 1 year, I started one person to help me, an intern. And that person, Ricardo, helped me for a long time. And then after 4 years, so the people joined the studio. We were 3, and then 4, and now we are 6. And this is, for me, is the limit. I mean, I'm very happy with 6, and I want to be small and to keep the small size. So I'm the owner, I'm the founder, and the creative director. I have like 2 designers more. That is, one is Sebastian, and the other one is Adrià. And also now Fab is helping us in the mornings. So we are 4 designers, counting me. And also Gemma, she's the Hey Shop manager. And Colette, that she's the new senior project manager. Yes.
Brilliant. That's a good split. Lots of creative people. You also do a lot of illustration work. Do you have in-house illustrators as well, or that's the freelancers that you collaborate with?
No, everything it's in-house. Yes. Yes,
So
sometimes
all
we
the
have,
illustration you do actually is done in-house?
yes, everything is
Wow.
in-house. Yes, from the beginning. That was one of the things that I really love at the beginning, that illustration and graphic design were the things that I really loved most. So I wanted to bring life to every I mean that I can use illustration in a branding project, and in the other side, like the same in illustration for branding projects. So that's a good thing about maybe Hey, that we almost try to do all the illustrations in-house. Sometimes we have some collaborators or some people that used to work at the studio, and sometimes they can help us. Yes.
Brilliant. And you just talked about the physical growth of the studio throughout these 11 years. What I would say the internal experience was, maybe the types of work or your approach to design changed throughout these 11 years. What would you say is the biggest change that you felt yourself?
The biggest change. Wow. The first years, my clients were quite small and very local from Barcelona. And after 4 years, the clients came more international. So I needed to learn how to deal with international clients. And also my English is not perfect now, but 8 years ago was
It's
horrible.
amazing. Don't worry.
No, but 8 years ago was horrible. So I used to record all my Skypes, and I said yes to everyone. And then because I didn't understand anything. I mean, I understand, but when you are in a Skype call, or you are very nervous, and if you are talking with a big company, so this is a challenge in my life. And now it's more relaxed. I know the process and everything. And maybe the most challenging thing about running a company is not about the projects or how you focus the graphic projects or the design by itself. I think it's more dealing with people. For me, it's the most difficult thing. So now, from 1 year ago, 1.5, I do a lot of effort with this. So I have a personal coach, and I have a next step is going to do like a team coaching and these things. Yes.
Oh, that's really interesting that you now focus on the team dynamic and kind of the again internal part of the process. What does it feel for you to run a studio? Because you're a very creative person, and I assume you're still involved in all of the projects, but at the same time you have to run it as a business, so you need to constantly think about the client side and winning businesses. So how do you divide your time? How do you make sure you focus enough on the creative part and the business part?
Yes. I mean, I think it's easier if the company is small. So the size, Hayes is a small company. It's not 20 person or 30. So this is easier for me. But of course, I need to stay in all the projects, and I need to control all of them. But I give a lot of freedom to the designers. So that's good, because maybe I focus the first time with the first meetings, but they have completely freedom to do whatever they want, based on our style guides. And also because I have a project manager. But the project manager, the first 7 years, I didn't have a project manager. So I did all by my own, yes. So it's easier when you have people around you that help you on this. I'm not alone.
And you mentioned the coaching part. What do you feel, what is your biggest challenge right now as the creative founder of a business?
Oh, I mean, you mean running the now business?
Just right now, this year, what's your biggest priority or challenge, or something that you're trying to focus on?
Yes, I think for this year, my wish, my dream is to open a hay shop that I just signed today a place in Barcelona.
Oh, the physical one where people go in.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
So fresh news, yes.
Aha, that's great. And actually, let's talk a bit about your shop, because you sell incredible designs there, very colorful, very joyful, and it's quite a common practice for design studios to open their shops. But from what I know, it's not always a good commercial decision, because it's almost like running a second business. You need
Yes.
to think about sales and the logistics of things. So how did you decide, and why did you decide to start a shop, and how did it develop since you started?
Yes, the shop started 4 years ago, and because people ask us to buy illustrations or to buy our creations that maybe we post on social media. So it was not for buy. So people sent us emails asking for the illustrations. And I used to send it for free. Okay, this is illustration. You can print it. You can do whatever you want. So after receiving, I received a few emails, and I thought, well, maybe it's a good idea to take profit of it. So I opened a hay shop, and the first year was difficult because we didn't have like suppliers, and we needed to find the best paper, the best printing, the best courier, everything. So we didn't know anything. And now, of course, after 4 years, it's easier. But the first years we did a lot of print material because we are designers, so it's our like natural way. And last year we started doing like other products, fabrics, and the idea with the physical shop is like to do more things, like new projects, and I don't know. At the end, hay is a style that can be a poster, can be a fabric, a clothing, can be a vase, wherever. I mean, we decide what we want to do.
That is amazing, and I think definitely the sky's the limit in that sense. And I'm actually looking forward to seeing more things, and maybe even visiting your physical shop one day.
Yes.
You mentioned the whole idea of hay style, and that's something that lots of design studios debate about, whether a design studio should have a style. And I don't know if you will agree with me or not, but I definitely think that hay studio has a very distinct style, and when the work appears, you can you will know that hay studio is very colorful. They're warm colors. They're very joyful. So how was it a conscious decision to have a style and you always try to stick to it, or is it just something that you personally like, so it just naturally comes out that way?
Yes, it was a personal decision that started when I was studying, and because I was feeling very comfortable with the modernist style, and that was the style that came 70s, 60s, 70s. So I felt very comfortable with this because I'm agree with the way of how they decide to design, and was the first time in the history of graphic design that was a universal style. Because you could see this style in the States, in Japan, in Europe. So, and I agree with this style. I feel very comfortable because it's very open and it's for everybody. And I wanted that the style that I wanted to do, I wanted to everybody, not for a small target of people. Because I think, and I agree that design is for everybody. So the reason that my references, I think, are very clear, and you can see on the website that it's modernist style, but with a twist with a contemporary way of now. Yes.
Does it mean that style will limit you at some point if there will be a client and this style might not be right for them? What if they ask for something very different from what fits into kind of your image of what you want to do? Will you do this type of work? I don't know, something very dark or very pale, or something again, or maybe too futuristic? would you do it?
Yes. I think now we are lucky because the clients came because they want, they asked for this style, but the style changes, it's changing all the time. And maybe you visit the website or the Instagram and everything is very colorful. But when I see the projects, I see them very different from each other. And I try to explore new ways with, I don't know, for me it's like a constant evolution. But yes, when a client wants to do something that maybe it's not our style, we try to understand that and we try to focus and to go step by step and try to understand. And if we feel that it's something that is not our style or it's completely very different, it happens very rare. It's not very often. But now it's like they want what, I mean, it's very common, and I think all designers happen the same, or illustrators. So clients visit the website and they want the same that they see in the website or your Instagram. Yeah. So you clone every time yourself over time. So I think it's good in that case to do personal projects, not to repeat yourself and to explore new ways. Yes.
And in terms of the personal projects, how do you pick? I can imagine as a creative person, you have so many ideas of what you want to do. How do you pick what you will dedicate time to, and how much of your time do you dedicate to personal projects?
Okay, personal projects now is part of the company. I mean, it's not wasting time now, because when you do a personal project, there is a way to show it in our shop. So we are going to take profit of it. And also it's not for ourselves as well. I mean, maybe a client see this project and they ask for it, and it happens a lot. So it's, at the end, I mean, the commercial ones are the priority, of course, because are the ones that pay the bills and the salaries. But it's good sometimes, maybe when we are like more relaxed, we do more personal projects.
And you have lots of different, I suppose, departments or areas of expertise in your company. So you do branding, you do packaging, you do illustration. But at the same time, for example, you don't do websites or apps. So I think that's another big dilemma for a lot of branding and design studios. How broad do I go? Do I hire developers and designers and start doing websites? Or do I just go very narrow and only do branding and don't even touch packaging or anything else? So how did you find that balance for yourself, and what's next?
Yes, I think we can do everything.
Yep.
Yes. I mean, we do websites as well, not a lot, only if it's inside a branding project.
Yeah.
But apps, we are not the best ones doing apps, of course. But I mean, the good thing is that it's not to be afraid. I'm partnered with the good people, with the best people. And the good thing about being small is that it's flexible and you can grow whenever you want. And in Barcelona, it's full of people and very good creatives, and not only in Barcelona, everywhere. I mean, so I would love to do more packaging. I did packaging, but not so much. But I would love to do packaging. I would love to do, I don't know, like a very big branding project. But I mean, it's what we receive. But I always say yes at the beginning. I always want to listen to the client, and then I decide if I'm prepared or not. But I think everybody's prepared. It's just to have the good partner by your side.
Yeah. I also heard the story that you even did shoe design once. You created pattern for a shoe as a part of the branding exercise. So that's again something that kind of goes into fashion and an entire different industry. So how did you say yes to that?
You mean which client? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
So for the shoes, the Spanish
Okay.
company that, yeah.
Arels.
Yeah.
How we did the shoe, you mean, the pattern? And
Yeah, so
okay.
you not just did the packaging and the branding, but you also designed the shoe, which is very unusual for a branding or graphic design agency to do.
Yes, it came after we did the branding and the packaging. It came after because the client loved the packaging. I think it's there. You can see that it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the client loved a lot the patterns we did for the packaging, and he proposed me to do the pattern for the shoes. And I said, "Are you sure about that? Because I think it's too colorful. I never will wear these shoes in my life." And he said, "Yes, Vero, please believe me, it's going to be a success." And I said, "Okay, let's do this." And it was the first sales, the number one. Yes.
Wow.
So I think we never did before a pattern for a shoe, but I mean, we did like posters and we do a lot of pattern design. So for us it was the same, but in a shoe.
Okay. Let's talk a bit about branding, because I think that's a topic that is discussed a lot in a design community, and the branding as a discipline is changing a lot. And you just mentioned that you designed a shoe or a pattern for a shoe as part of the branding project. So how do you define branding? How far do you go with the branding? We all know it's not a logo anymore and a color that comes with a logo, but how far are you willing to go in the project, and how little? So, for example, will you ever design just a logo for a company?
Yes, I go as far as the client allows me to go. I mean, sometimes it doesn't depend on me, because maybe the client only want a logotype and they have the in-house department and they do whatever they want. So for us, of course, as a company, we want to do everything, because everything is going to be more tight. So I go as far as the client allows me. So, but it's also part of my work to trust in me, in our team, in my team.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you seen? I don't know. You've probably seen the newest Slack redesign. So Slack is a big tech company, and Messenger and the Pentagram redesigned their logo. And there is a lot of discussion around that. And what's your opinion on the redesign, and what are your thoughts?
Redesign of Pentagram or redesigning?
The Slack. Have you seen the Slack project, the Pentagram design?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay. I mean, sometimes all projects, it's very difficult to be on the top all the time. Yeah, so I don't like to criticize on design, never. I mean, I think for sure, because I need to know why they did this. I need to know how was the dealing with the client. I need to know a lot of things, because it's very easy to criticize, because maybe dealing with this client was difficult. I don't know nothing. So I can say my opinion if I know both parts. Yes.
I think what really surprised me, I suppose, that they relaunched just the logo as part of the it wasn't even a rebrand. They just redesigned the logo, and they left everything else, and they made the big announcement just for the logo upgrade, which is very unusual for current branding industry, just to focus on one piece. And I was just, for me, I was trying to figure out whether it was a conscious decision or for not touch anything. And obviously the reaction was quite mixed from the audience because of that, because people couldn't see the big brand and everyone was just discussing the logo. So I think, I don't know if you ever had the jobs when you had to just do a logo and couldn't touch the rest of the brand, and how that experience felt.
Wow, I mean, there are a lot of things that you need to balance. I mean, I can design only a logo. I mean, it happens to me only a few times, but maybe it's my opinion. It's my personal opinion. I don't know if you need the money and you need to pay like I don't know how many salaries. So maybe you need to do this. I mean, I don't like to criticize on design.
No, yeah.
So I don't know the reasons. I don't know why. So I'm not inside there. So
Yeah.
I think a good branding is a good when all the pieces are they are tied together. When it's not necessary to be physical or digital. It's also the attitude, everything. So this is a good branding. So only a logotype, of course, it's not enough. You need all this environment. So that's my opinion. Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. And there is another big trend in branding, which again everyone loves to discuss, especially in the fashion industry, with all the big red brands from Balenciaga to Yves Saint Laurent, and kind of going towards very neutral logos and very, I suppose,
Yes.
similar typefaces.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on that? Is that something that you think is the right way to go for a branding industry, or is just designers are lazy?
I think it's part of the history of design. It happens the same in the 70s, in 60s, in the modernist style, when they were like very tired of handwriting or decoration. So it happens the same now. So the history repeats us again. So this is part of the history of design. In fashion happens a lot. So, and it's not only in fashion, in techie companies. If you see techie companies, the logotypes, they are the same.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think it's something that is happening now, and maybe 10 years, in 10 years it's going to be different. So I don't know what to say. I mean, our clients said we want this because it's attendance. I mean, I think for me it's okay, but I like when someone take risk. Because when someone take risk and they do something very, very different, so they take risk, and sometimes this is like a top. There's like something in the history of design, and then they started to do the other companies the same. This is part of the history of design that happened before. It's not the first time that happens.
Yeah, that is very true. And I wonder what will be the next big trend, as you said, in 10 years, what all these logos and brands will be changing to.
Yes.
I have a last question from myself, and then we'll start asking questions from the audience. So everyone who is listening and watching, you can start posting questions. I've seen some already started. So you're based in Barcelona, and it's a very sunny and beautiful city. I've been to Barcelona many times, really love the architecture and I love the environment and the creative atmosphere. What does it mean for you to be a Barcelona-based design studio? Do you feel like that affected your style, your design, your thinking in any way?
Yes, I always say that where you live affects you a lot, influences your design, your life. So Barcelona, for me, it's a city where it's very social. It's Spain. The weather is nice, so of course, influenced me a lot. So if I live in London, for example, it's just a city, maybe my style will be different. But I think the city where you live influences you a lot. Yes.
If you didn't live in Barcelona, if you could move to any place in the world, where would you move?
I love Berlin. Yes. Yes, I love It's not the weather of Berlin, but I love a lot Berlin. Yes.
Brilliant. Okay, let's start answering some questions from all your fans and viewers who were so looking forward to talking to you.
Okay.
Question from Zara15. What were you doing when you were 25 years old?
What were I was doing with my 25?
When you were 25, what
25,
were you doing?
I was working. Yes,
Was it
I
Hey
worked.
Studio already?
No, I founded Hey, and I was 27. So I was working at that time in a company, in a small company in Barcelona for 3 years. And yes, when I finished the university, I work in like 3 different places. 7 years working in different places around Barcelona only.
And do you feel like it was important for you before starting your own studio
Yes.
to actually experience working in other studios?
Yes, I couldn't found it Hey if I didn't have the experience of knowledge of the other companies. Yes, it was impossible.
Brilliant. What advice could you give to aspiring graphic designers? I mean,
so
they want to be great graphic designers. Do you have any advice for someone who is just starting the whole graphic design journey?
I think for me is it was very good to work in a lot of places. I also did a lot of intern when I was studying. So for me, working in different places, big, small, was very useful for me. And also my advice is to know your past about graphic design. I mean, I think it's very important to know the history of graphic design.
Any particular book maybe you could recommend that is a must-read for graphic designers?
Yes, I didn't know that question, so, and I'm not working at Taschen, but I think this book is something that all designers in the world we should have now.
What's the author?
Is The History of Graphic Design by Taschen, yes.
Taschen, okay, yes. All Taschen books, to be honest, that's definitely my recommendation. Majority of their design books are fantastic.
But this is the first book collection, the first time, so that we have a history of graphic design. So it's very good to have. It's like a must. There's two books, and it's something every designer should have.
So this is the first one, and what's the second one?
The second one, I love vintage books, and I love to collect. It's something I love. I love to visit Amazon, eBay. Yes. So I love, one of my favorite ones is Graphics Diagrams. It's a very vintage book, and I love the vintage books.
What is it?
Graphic Diagrams.
Never seen this book before.
Yeah, because it's from the 70s or 60s, something. Yes.
Interesting. Next question. Do you rely on retainer clients, or is every project new, or every client is new? So do you have to win business? Do you have to win clients all the time, or do clients keep coming back to you?
Yes, we have like some clients, they come back, not a lot, but it's more new clients all the time. And we have like local clients that we have for a long time, yes. But I think it's part of the business, like every time you need to win new clients.
Any tips on winning new clients? Do you send lots of emails? Do you send them Christmas postcards, or what's your strategy for winning new
Yes, it's invest a lot of time and energy and creativity and money as well to do personal projects and personal initiatives. So, for example, we did last year 2 years ago, sorry, that our 10th anniversary, and we did 2 years of conferences. We invite people. We did like a venue. So this is something that it's not knocking doors, but it's something that people enjoy and people share it a lot. And also on Christmas, we do our Christmas posters that we send to clients and friends. So we spend a lot of time for these personal things or personal projects as well. And next, in 2 weeks, we are going to do like a non-profit day where we sell like the outlet posters. So all the profits are going to an NGO. So all these kind of things, it's not non-stop thinking about ideas.
Oh, brilliant. Did you already pick the NGO that you will be giving the profits to?
Sorry?
Did you already pick which NGO or charity
Yes,
will be?
yes. Every year is a different NGO. Yes. So this is the 3rd year that we do that, because we for the poster, for the Hey Shop, we always have like posters that we can sell because maybe they have like a small damage, or maybe the books or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
So we can sell, but for us it's good. I mean, it's not bad. So it's one day that people come to the studio, and maybe you can buy a poster for 10 euros. And yes, and people, I think it's a very nice day because people comes here, and you know that all this money is going directly to this NGO. Yes.
Great idea. What do you do if you find yourself in a creative block? So if no creative ideas come to you, what do you do? Where do you go?
Yes, I think there is a very famous designer that has a quote that said, the creativity needs you to come while you are working, or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't believe in, okay, I don't have creativity, I need to go to the beach or wherever, or I need to go to my home, or I mean, creativity needs to come while you are working. If not, I mean, your daily life is like that. It's a business. Of course, I have my colleagues here, and I share the studio with a friend of mine, Josep, as well. So sometimes when we are blocked, so it's just talk. It's talk. Okay, I did this. What do you think about that? And sometimes someone said, "Okay, why don't you try this?" Or I think talking is a solution, and share this with your friends or colleagues.
I actually saw one of the processes of how you were creating a East London guide and how many different versions and iterations of the layout you had, and I assume that's what kind of your creative process. My question about that is, when do you stop? So when I can imagine you can come up with more and more layouts and ideas and versions. When do you tell yourself, okay, enough, now I need to start choosing, or this is good enough, I shouldn't keep going for another week?
Yes, I understand, because I need that deadlines are very important. Because with no deadlines, designers, we are like obsessed of non-stop. So you need to manage your time the best you can do, and say, okay, I mean, I have like 1 week, like more for creative process. So in 1 week I can do this, and I don't have more time. So then you choose the best of this week. And yes, you need to stop, because if not, I mean, you can be designing all days or night, day, night. So this is not a good business.
Yeah, makes sense. I saw just before we left, there was another question. People ask your opinion about the new Zara logo. I'm sure you've seen that. Do you have any thoughts, any comments on that?
Yeah, I'm sorry to say that, because I don't like to criticize, but I think it's not well done in a typographic way. I see a lot of mistakes in a typographic way. I mean, the space between letters, there's not a good balance. I mean, it's not well done. Sorry, I'm sorry for Sarah, but it's not well done.
Do you think it was intentional? Do you think it was
I
like
don't
a
know.
provocation?
Wow, if it was a provocation, it was a very bad decision for the head, the CEO. No. I mean, I can see the. I'm designer. I did a degree in typography. I mean, I can see if a logo is well done or not. Not in if it's working for this company or not. I can see if the balance is well done. If the lines. I don't know. I don't have the correct name words in English, but I mean the space between letters. And if the logo like goes this way or this way, and when I see this logo, I see a lot of typographic mistakes. That's my opinion.
Okay. No, I think that's definitely, that logo made people talk about Zara more than probably ever in a fashion graphic design history. But well, we'll see what happens to that.
Yes. I don't know. I mean, it's my opinion in typographic way. Yes.
Yes. Next question. How do you find the twist and innovation when the logo you're designing feels a little too common? I assume the question is if you already have the logo and you're designing a packaging or designing anything with the existing logo and it's not a very inspiring one, how do you work around that?
Okay. If I need to work with a logo, I don't feel it's okay. Or
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yes, it happens sometimes, but I try to do the best thing I can to do what my commission was. If it's a label design, a campaign, a poster, wherever. So the logo is there. I mean, I can do a lot of things more. Maybe just to find the correct place, and maybe if the logo is colorful, maybe I can do it in one ink. I don't know.
Okay. So ignore and hide it as much as you can, essentially.
Yeah.
If anyone has any last questions, now is the time to ask. I have a couple more from my list. So you designed the brand, and it was a Uniqlo campaign in Spain, and it was a very interesting project because you had work with the existing brand, but at the same time you could be very creative about what you can do with it. How do you balance usually what brand already has with the campaign or packaging that you need to create? So not to overpower the brand, so it's still recognizable, but at the same time having a fresh perspective so people notice it.
Yes, for Uniqlo we did the bags, not the campaign,
the bags, yeah.
only the welcoming bags. That it was for a year more or less. So there was a brief for this project because Uniqlo is a firm, is a company that they want to get involved in every city they go. That it's very nice. So they want to be like have a very nice welcome to the city. And was the first time that Uniqlo arrived to Spain in Barcelona. So the brief was like the bags is our welcoming to the citizens and said, okay, we are here and we are very nice to be here and come to our home. Our home is your home. So that was the idea. Our home is your home. So if you see the bags is the idea comes from the original tile design of Barcelona, the modernist design. But yes, finding the good balance between the company guidelines or us is something that we need to work on this. And also I think Uniqlo in that case, we have it's very easy and natural for us because more or less our style is similar for what they do. Yes.
And
So
was it you try to push as far as you can the guidelines and what the client gave you, and then the client will always kind of take you back to the brand, or do you have your own kind of you need to look at it and still recognize the brand? What's your internal guide of like, is it too much? Is it too creative for this brand?
No. It's more free. It's more free. Yes. It's not complicated because they don't say, okay, you need to follow these guidelines, or yes, it's free. This is the brief. Do whatever you want. It's more free.
Nice brief to have.
Yes. That was. I mean, we present like 5 different options, and they picked the best one, and also we did like a lot of color changing and different versions. Yeah, but in that case was very natural and easy.
Great. Couple more questions. Any design trends that you would want to share? Any design or branding trends that you're really excited about or you want to share?
Design trends. I don't know what to say.
Do you follow trends? Do you?
Yes, I follow. I mean, I don't like trends because I believe in neutral design, in the design that it's not a trend, that it's for everybody, and it's for like a timeless design. So, but I love like editorial trends, and I love coding and in typeface. One of my favorite design studios is Dia in New York by Meet, and what they are doing is amazing, and I think they are changing the branding concept. So yes, I love coding in typography, in design. I think this is a very important trend now, and it's going to change a lot of things.
What was the name of the studio you said you really inspired you?
DIA.
Yeah. So they did the recent Uber. Yes. The Uber rebrand.
Uber? Yes. I don't know. I don't think
great.
so, but maybe I don't know. But yes, for me, they are based in New York. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, we have time for last question, so I'll kind of have to pick the last one. I think. Okay. That's a really good one to finish it off. What advice can you give for someone who wants to run his or her own design studio as you did? I'll also paraphrase this question and ask, if you can go back 10 years ago or 11 years ago when you started your own studio, and if you could give advice to yourself that would take you to where you are faster, better, or you could avoid mistakes, what advice would you give yourself?
It's difficult because I think that you need to make mistakes to arrive where you want to arrive. So, but maybe I think the most bad thing or the worst thing for designers is the ego. So if you don't have ego, it's the best thing, and you can feel free and comfortable by yourself. So please don't have ego and share things with your team, and don't think this is my design. I don't think ideas belongs to people. I think ideas belongs to teams. So this is very nice, and maybe at the beginning I wasn't thinking about that. So this is my advice.
That is a brilliant advice.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, and I think that's a great way to finish our conversation today. Thank you so much, Verònica, for joining us. Thanks everyone who was watching and asking questions. And if you don't follow Hey Studio yet, definitely check their page out. They have incredible, inspiring designs. And follow us if you want more interviews with creative people and designers around the world. And thanks a lot, Verònica, and until next time.
Thank you. You're welcome. Bye. Bye-bye. Have a nice day.